Chapter 8: The Clash of Cosmic Forces. The newly launched missions to the various alien laboratories scattered across the solar system were met with a sense of both hope and trepidation. Alex, Maya, and Jake, having played crucial roles in the previous operations, now found themselves in a position of strategic oversight, coordinating the efforts from Earth-based command centers. Dr. Amara Singh's team, bound for the laboratory near Uranus, was the first to encounter significant challenges. As their spaceship, the Uranian Explorer, approached the target, they were met with a series of intense magnetic storms. These storms were not natural phenomena but were being artificially generated by the alien laboratory as a defensive measure. "These magnetic fields are off the charts," Amara exclaimed, her eyes fixed on the sensor readings. "If we try to fly through them, our ship's systems will be severely damaged." The team's engineers immediately started working on a solution. They proposed creating a counter-magnetic field to neutralize the effects of the alien-generated storms. After hours of intense calculations and adjustments, they activated the counter-magnetic field generator. The Uranian Explorer slowly pushed forward through the magnetic maelstrom. The ship's hull groaned under the stress, and the crew held their breath as they navigated through the dangerous field. Finally, they managed to break through and approach the laboratory. The laboratory near Uranus was a massive, cylindrical structure, rotating slowly in space. Its surface was covered in a strange, reflective material that seemed to absorb and redirect energy. As the team prepared to land, they were targeted by a barrage of laser-like beams. "Evasive maneuvers!" shouted the ship's pilot. The Uranian Explorer zigzagged through the incoming fire, but one of the beams grazed the ship's wing, causing a minor explosion. "Report," Amara demanded. "The wing is damaged, but we can still fly," the engineer replied. "However, we need to be careful with any further impacts." The team decided to make a risky landing attempt. With precise flying, they managed to touch down on a small landing pad near the laboratory's entrance. As they disembarked, they were greeted by a group of robotic sentinels. These sentinels were different from the ones encountered in previous missions. They were smaller but moved with incredible speed, and their arms were equipped with sharp, energy-charged blades. The soldiers on the team formed a defensive perimeter, their guns at the ready. The sentinels charged forward, and a fierce battle ensued. The soldiers' bullets seemed to have little effect on the sentinels' energy-shielded bodies. Amara, observing the battle, noticed that the sentinels' energy shields seemed to weaken when they made a quick, jerky movement. She quickly relayed this information to the soldiers. "Wait for them to make that quick move and then fire," she shouted. The soldiers adjusted their strategy. When the sentinels made their characteristic jerky movement, the soldiers opened fire. This time, the bullets managed to penetrate the weakened shields, and several of the sentinels were disabled. The team pushed forward, entering the laboratory. Inside, they found a maze of corridors filled with strange, humming machinery. The air was thick with a strange, electrical charge, and the walls were lined with tubes filled with a glowing, blue-green liquid. As they explored further, they came across a large chamber. In the center of the chamber was a massive, pulsating crystal. The crystal was the source of a powerful energy field that seemed to be powering the entire laboratory. Amara and her team of scientists started to study the crystal. They discovered that the crystal was not only a power source but also a key component in the laboratory's experiments. The experiments here seemed to be focused on manipulating the fundamental forces of the universe, specifically trying to merge gravity and electromagnetism. "These experiments are incredibly dangerous," Amara said. "If they succeed, it could cause a chain reaction that would disrupt the entire solar system's gravitational and electromagnetic balance." The team knew they had to act fast. They started to search for a way to disable the crystal and shut down the experiments. As they were looking for the control mechanisms, they were attacked by a new type of creature. These creatures were made of pure energy, their forms constantly shifting and changing. The soldiers fired at the energy creatures, but their weapons seemed to pass right through them. Amara, however, remembered the universal energy, neutralizing device that Alex and his team had been developing. Although their version was not as advanced as the one still in development on Earth, they had a prototype with them. She quickly retrieved the prototype and adjusted its settings. When she activated the device, it emitted a powerful pulse of energy that disrupted the energy creature's forms. The creatures dissipated, giving the team a chance to continue their search. Finally, they found the control console for the crystal. The console was protected by a complex encryption system. Amara and her team of code breakers started to work on the encryption. After hours of painstaking work, they managed to crack the code. Amara input the commands to shut down the crystal. The crystal's pulsations slowed down, and the energy field in the chamber started to weaken. The team let out a sigh of relief. They had managed to stop the dangerous experiments near Uranus. Meanwhile, another team, led by Captain Carlos Ramirez, was on a mission to a laboratory hidden in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Their spaceship, the Belt Breaker, had detected a strange energy signature that indicated the presence of a highly active alien facility. As they approached the laboratory, they found it to be a large, spherical structure. The laboratory was surrounded by a swarm of small, drone-like objects. These drones were constantly moving, creating a complex defensive formation. "These drones are going to be a problem," Carlos said. "We can't just blast our way through. We need to find a way to disrupt their formation." The team's scientists studied the drones' movement patterns. They discovered that the drones were communicating with each other through a specific frequency. By jamming this frequency, they could potentially disrupt the drones' coordinated defense. The belt breaker emitted a powerful jamming signal. The drones immediately started to behave erratically, their formation breaking apart. The spaceship took advantage of this and flew towards the laboratory. Upon landing, the team faced a different kind of challenge. The laboratory's entrance was sealed by a force field that was resistant to all forms of energy-based attacks. Carlos and his team had to find a mechanical way to breach the force field. They searched the surrounding area and found a large, abandoned alien vehicle. Using the vehicle's powerful hydraulic systems, they managed to ram through the force field. The force field flickered and then disappeared, allowing the team to enter the laboratory. Inside, they found a series of large chambers filled with strange, organic-looking structures. These structures were pulsating with a strange, purple light, and they seemed to be alive. As they moved further into the laboratory, they discovered that the aliens were conducting experiments to create a new form of life that could exist in the harsh environment of the asteroid belt. This new life form was designed to be a hybrid of organic and inorganic materials, with the ability to self-replicate and adapt to different conditions. The team knew that if these experiments were allowed to continue, the new life forms could spread throughout the solar system, potentially causing ecological disasters. They started to search for the control center to shut down the experiments. Along the way, they were attacked by some of the half-formed hybrid creatures. These creatures were aggressive and had sharp, metallic claws. The soldiers fought bravely, using a combination of guns and melee weapons to fend off the creatures. Carlos, in the heat of the battle, noticed that the creatures seemed to be vulnerable to high-frequency sound waves. He quickly ordered the team to use their sonic weapons. The high-frequency sound waves caused the hybrid creatures to screech in pain and retreat. The team finally reached the control center. The control center was a large, circular room filled with strange, alien-designed computers. The team's scientists started to work on the computers, trying to understand the complex systems and shut down the experiments. After a series of trials, they managed to find the right commands to stop the creation of the hybrid life forms and deactivate the self-replication process. Back on Earth, Alex, Maya, and Jake were monitoring the progress of all the missions. They were relieved to hear of the successes of the teams near Uranus and in the asteroid belt, but they knew that there were still more laboratories to deal with. Suddenly, a new report came in. A deep space probe had detected a massive energy build-up near Pluto. The energy signature was unlike anything they had seen before, indicating a laboratory with experiments on an unprecedented scale. "Alex, this could be the motherlode," Maya said, her face pale. "The energy readings are off the scale. Whatever they're doing there, it could have consequences for the entire universe." Jake nodded. "We need to send our best team there. This is a critical mission." Alex agreed. "I'll lead the team myself. Maya, you stay here and coordinate with the other teams. Jake, I need you to make sure we have all the necessary equipment and support." The decision was made. Alex assembled a picked team of the most experienced scientists, engineers, and soldiers. They boarded the Pluto's Edge, a state-of-the-art spaceship designed for long-range and high-risk missions. As the Pluto's Edge set off on its journey to Pluto, Alex and his team prepared for the unknown. They studied all the available data on the energy signature near Pluto, but it was scarce. They knew that they were walking into a situation that could be more dangerous than anything they had faced before. The journey to Pluto was long and filled with anticipation. The team trained rigorously, going over every possible scenario. Alex, in particular, was focused on developing a strategy to deal with the unknown experiments and defenses they might encounter. When they finally approached Pluto, the energy signature was overwhelming. The sensors on the Pluto's edge detected a massive, pyramid-shaped structure. The structure was surrounded by a field of strange, swirling energy that seemed to distort space and time. These energy fields are incredibly complex, Alex said. We need to be extremely careful. One wrong move and we could be torn apart. The team started to analyze the energy fields, looking for a way to penetrate them. They discovered that the fields were a combination of multiple types of energy, including dark energy, gravitational forces, and a form of energy that they had never encountered before. As they were trying to find a way through the fields, the Pluto's edge was hit by a powerful shockwave. The ship's systems were severely damaged, and the crew was thrown off balance. Report. Alex shouted. The engines are damaged, and we're losing power, the engineer replied. We need to make repairs quickly, or we won't be able to stay in this area for long. The team worked feverishly to repair the ship's systems. Meanwhile, they continued to study the energy fields. Alex had an idea. He proposed using a combination of the ship's remaining power and a special energy modulating device they had brought along to create a temporary breach in the energy fields. The team prepared the device and adjusted the ship's power output. With a final push, they activated the device. To their surprise, the energy fields started to part, creating a narrow corridor for the Pluto's edge to pass through. The spaceship slowly made its way through the corridor. As they approached the pyramid-shaped laboratory, they were targeted by a series of powerful energy beams. The Pluto's edge evaded the beams as best as it could, but one of the beams hit the ship's shield, causing it to weaken significantly. Shields are at 30% and dropping, the shield operator reported. Alex knew they had to act fast. Prepare for landing. We can't afford to take any more hits out here. The Pluto's edge made a risky landing near the laboratory's entrance. As they disembarked, they were faced with a new challenge. The entrance was guarded by a massive, robotic guardian. This guardian was 10 times the size of the ones they had encountered before, and it was equipped with multiple cannons and energy manipulating devices. Open fire, Alex ordered. The soldiers on the team unleashed a barrage of bullets and energy-based attacks on the Guardian. But the Guardian's armor was thick, and its energy shields were powerful. Alex, using a high-powered scanner, studied the Guardian's structure. He discovered that the Guardian's power source was located in its chest. If they could disable the power source, they might be able to stop the Guardian. "Focus your fire on its chest," Alex shouted. The team redirected their attacks. After an intense barrage of fire, they managed to penetrate the Guardian's armor and hit its power source. The Guardian let out a loud screech and then went limp. The team entered the laboratory. Inside, they found a vast, dark chamber. The walls were lined with strange, glowing symbols, and in the center of the chamber was a large, floating sphere. The sphere was pulsating with a bright, white light, and it was the source of the massive energy build-up. Alex and his team of scientists started to study the sphere. They quickly realized that the sphere was part of an experiment to create a new form of energy that could rewrite the laws of physics. If the experiment was allowed to continue, it could cause a cosmic catastrophe. As they were trying to figure out how to stop the experiment, the sphere emitted a powerful pulse of energy. The pulse sent shockwaves through the chamber, knocking the team to the ground. When they regained their footing, they noticed that strange, shadowy figures were emerging from the walls. These figures were not solid but seemed to be made of a form of dark energy. The shadowy figures attacked the team. The soldiers fired at them, but their weapons seemed to have little effect. Alex, however, remembered the universal energy neutralizing device. He quickly retrieved the device and adjusted its settings to counter the dark, energy-based figures. When he activated the device, it emitted a powerful pulse of energy that disrupted the shadowy figures. The figures dissipated, giving the team a chance to continue their mission. Alex and his team continued to search for a way to shut down the experiment. They found a control console near the sphere. The console was protected by a complex encryption system, but Alex and his team of code breakers were determined. After hours of intense work, they managed to crack the encryption. Alex input the commands to shut down the experiment. The sphere's pulsations stopped, and the energy build-up started to subside. The team had successfully neutralized the laboratory near Pluto. Alex knew that this was a major victory, but he also knew that there could be more threats out there. As they prepared to return to Earth, he reflected on the long and difficult journey they had been on. The battle to protect the universe from the alien experiments was far from over, but they had made significant progress. And with the global consortium working together, he was confident that they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 9: The Cosmic Convergence. As Alex and his team returned to Earth victorious from their mission near Pluto, a sense of cautious optimism filled the global consortium. The successful neutralization of the powerful laboratory near Pluto had been a significant blow to the alien threat, but the discovery of multiple other energy signatures in the outer reaches of the solar system still loomed large. Back on Earth, the data collected from all the missions was analyzed in great detail. Scientists from different disciplines worked around the clock, trying to piece together the puzzle of the alien experiments. Alex, Maya, and Jake were at the center of these efforts, constantly consulting with the research teams and strategizing for the remaining missions. The experiments near Pluto were on a scale that we could barely comprehend, Alex said during a global briefing. If we hadn't intervened, the consequences could have been apocalyptic. But we can't rest on our laurels. There are still more laboratories out there, and we need to be prepared for even greater challenges. Maya, who had been leading the analysis of the alien technology, added, "The technology we've encountered so far is incredibly advanced. We need to accelerate our research to develop better counter-measures. The universal energy neutralizing device is showing promise, but we need to improve its efficiency and adaptability." Jake, responsible for coordinating the military aspects of the operations, nodded in agreement. "Our teams are getting better with each mission, but we need to train them even more rigorously. The defenses of these alien laboratories are becoming more sophisticated, and we need to be one step ahead." The consortium decided to focus on two major tasks: enhancing the technology for the upcoming missions and conducting more in-depth intelligence gathering. A series of new research projects were launched to develop improved energy shielding suits, more powerful weapons capable of penetrating alien defenses, and advanced communication devices to better interact with alien systems. At the same time, the deep space probes were upgraded with more sensitive sensors. These probes were sent to the areas where the new energy signatures had been detected. The hope was to gather as much information as possible about the remaining alien laboratories before sending in the mission teams. One of the new energy signatures was detected in the Oort cloud, a vast region of icy objects at the outermost edge of the solar system. The energy readings were erratic and complex, indicating that the laboratory in question was likely conducting experiments on a scale that could potentially affect the entire galaxy. Alex, Maya, and Jake decided that this mission would require a combined effort from the most experienced members of the previous mission teams. They assembled a special task force, naming it the Oort Vanguard. The team consisted of top-notch scientists, engineers, and soldiers, all of whom had faced and overcome significant challenges in the previous operations. The spaceship chosen for this mission was the Cosmic Odyssey, a newly upgraded vessel equipped with the latest technology. As the team prepared for the long journey to the Oort cloud, they underwent intense training. They studied the limited data available on the Oort cloud laboratory, simulating various scenarios they might encounter. The journey to the Oort cloud was arduous, taking several months. The team used this time to further refine their skills and develop contingency plans. Alex, in particular, focused on developing a comprehensive strategy to deal with the unknown energy signatures and potential defenses of the laboratory. When they finally reached the vicinity of the detected energy signature, the sensors on the Cosmic Odyssey went into overdrive. The energy readings were unlike anything they had ever encountered. The laboratory, hidden within a large, icy comet-like body was surrounded by a field of strange, oscillating energy. This energy field is not only powerful but also constantly changing its properties, Maya said, her brow furrowed in concentration. We need to be extremely careful. One wrong move, and we could trigger a chain reaction. The team spent days analyzing the energy field, trying to find a way to penetrate it. They discovered that the field was composed of a combination of dark matter, related energy and a new form of quantum-based energy. The two types of energy were interacting in a complex way, creating a dynamic and unpredictable barrier. After much experimentation, they found that by synchronizing the ship's energy shields with the oscillating frequency of the field, they could create a temporary corridor for the cosmic odyssey to pass through. It was a risky maneuver, but they had no other choice. The cosmic odyssey slowly made its way through the energy field. The crew held their breath as they navigated through the narrow corridor, the energy field pulsating menacingly around them. Finally, they managed to reach the icy body housing the laboratory. The laboratory's entrance was a large, circular hatch buried beneath a thick layer of ice. The team used powerful lasers to melt the ice and expose the hatch. As they tried to open the hatch, they encountered a sophisticated locking mechanism. Maya and her team of engineers started to work on the locking mechanism. They used a combination of brute force decryption techniques and their knowledge of alien technology to bypass the locks. After several hours of painstaking work, they managed to open the hatch. Inside, they found a vast, dimly lit chamber filled with strange, crystalline structures. The structures were arranged in a complex pattern, and each one was pulsating with a different color of light. The air was filled with a soft, humming sound, and the energy in the room was palpable. As they moved further into the chamber, they were attacked by a group of small, flying drones. These drones were not like the ones they had encountered before. They were transparent, and their bodies seemed to be made of a form of pure energy. The drones emitted powerful electrical shocks when they came into contact with any object. The soldiers on the team tried to shoot down the drones, but their bullets passed through the transparent bodies. Alex, using a handheld scanner, discovered that the drones were vulnerable to a specific frequency of electromagnetic radiation. He quickly adjusted a device to emit the correct frequency. When he activated the device, the drones started to malfunction, their flight patterns becoming erratic. The team took advantage of this and moved forward. They soon found themselves in a control room. The control room was filled with large, holographic displays showing complex equations and energy diagrams. In the center of the room was a large, spherical device that seemed to be the heart of the laboratory's operations. Alex and Maya started to study the spherical device. They discovered that the laboratory was conducting experiments to create a bridge between different dimensions. The experiments were based on a theory that involved manipulating dark matter and quantum energy to open portals to other universes. These experiments are extremely dangerous, Alex said. If they succeed in opening a portal to another universe, we have no idea what could come through or what kind of effects it could have on our own universe. The team knew they had to shut down the experiments immediately. But the control systems of the spherical device were protected by multiple layers of encryption. Alex and his team of code breakers started to work on the encryption, using all the knowledge they had gained from previous missions. As they were working on the encryption, the laboratory started to shake violently. The energy levels in the room were rising rapidly, indicating that the experiments were going out of control. "Alex, we need to hurry," Maya said. The energy build up could cause a massive explosion that could destroy this entire region of the Oort cloud. Alex nodded, his fingers flying over the control console. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they managed to crack the encryption. Alex input the commands to shut down the spherical device and halt the dimension-bridging experiments. The spherical device stopped pulsating, and the energy levels in the room started to stabilize. The team let out a sigh of relief. They had once again managed to neutralize an extremely dangerous alien laboratory. However, as they were preparing to leave, they received a disturbing message from Earth. The deep space probes had detected a large-scale energy convergence in the center of the solar system. The energy signatures were a combination of all the different types of energy they had encountered in the previous laboratories, indicating a coordinated and potentially catastrophic event. "Alex, this could be the final showdown," Jake said over the comms. "We need to get back to Earth immediately and figure out what's going on." Alex agreed. The Cosmic Odyssey quickly set a course for Earth. As they traveled back, the team discussed various theories about the energy convergence. They knew that whatever was happening in the center of the solar system, it was going to be a massive challenge. Back on Earth, the global consortium was in a state of high alert. Scientists were analyzing the energy readings, trying to understand the nature of the convergence. Alex, Maya, and Jake, upon their return, were immediately called to a meeting with the leaders of the consortium. "The energy convergence in the center of the solar system is a mystery," one of the scientists said. "But we can tell that it's a highly coordinated event. The aliens must be trying to achieve something on a grand scale." Alex nodded. "We need to assemble all our resources and the best minds. This could be the moment when we finally put an end to the alien threat once and for all." The consortium decided to form a large-scale task force. This task force would consist of teams from all over the world, including the most experienced members of the previous missions. They would travel to the center of the solar system in a fleet of spaceships, equipped with the latest technology and counter-measures. As the preparations were underway, Alex, Maya, and Jake worked tirelessly to develop a comprehensive strategy. They knew that the energy convergence was likely to be protected by the most advanced alien defenses. But they were determined. They had come too far to let the aliens succeed in their dangerous plans. The fleet of spaceships, named the Solar Alliance, set off towards the center of the solar system. The journey was filled with anticipation and a sense of impending danger. The teams on board were ready for whatever challenges awaited them. They knew that the fate of the universe was at stake, and they were prepared to do whatever it took to protect it. When they finally reached the location of the energy convergence, they were met with a breathtaking and terrifying sight. A massive, swirling sphere of energy was floating in space. The sphere was a kaleidoscope of colors, with different types of energy: gravitational, electromagnetic, dark energy, and quantum energy, interacting in a complex dance. Surrounding the sphere were a series of large, alien-built structures. These structures were emitting energy beams that were feeding into the swirling sphere, intensifying the convergence. "These structures are the key," Alex said. "We need to disable them to stop the energy convergence." The Solar Alliance ships moved in, but they were immediately targeted by a hail of energy-based attacks from the alien structures. The ship's shields held, but the intensity of the attacks was overwhelming. The soldiers on the ships returned fire, but their weapons seemed to have little effect on the alien defenses. Alex, using the ship's sensors, studied the energy signatures of the structures. He discovered that the structures were protected by a multi-layer energy shield that could adapt to different types of attacks. Maya, in the meantime, was analyzing the energy patterns of the swirling sphere. She found that the sphere was in a state of unstable equilibrium. If they could disrupt the energy input from the structures, the sphere might collapse, ending the convergence. "Alex, we need to find a way to overload the energy shields of the structures," Maya said. "If we can do that, we can destroy the structures and stop the energy from feeding into the sphere." Alex thought for a moment. "We could use a combination of the universal energy neutralizing device and the ship's most powerful weapons. We need to time our attacks perfectly." The team coordinated their efforts. The ships moved in closer, and the universal energy neutralizing devices were activated. The devices emitted a powerful pulse of energy that disrupted the adaptive energy shields of the alien structures. At the same time, the ships unleashed a barrage of their most powerful weapons. The combined attack managed to overload the energy shields of the structures. One by one, the structures started to explode, cutting off the energy supply to the swirling sphere. The swirling sphere started to lose its stability. The energy within it started to dissipate, and the sphere began to shrink. With a final, powerful explosion, the sphere disappeared, and the energy convergence came to an end. The team let out a cheer. They had successfully stopped the potentially catastrophic energy convergence. But they knew that they needed to make sure that the alien threat was completely eliminated. The Solar Alliance ships started to search the area for any remaining signs of the alien presence. They discovered a hidden, underground complex. The complex was filled with alien technology and data storage devices. Alex, Maya, and the other scientists started to study the technology and data. They discovered that the aliens had been part of a larger, intergalactic conspiracy, The experiments in the solar system were just a small part of a plan to reshape the universe according to their own vision. But with the destruction of the energy convergence and the neutralization of the alien laboratories, the plan had been foiled. The team knew that they had a long way to go to fully understand the alien technology and prevent any future threats. But for now, they had achieved a major victory. As the Solar Alliance ships returned to Earth, the global community celebrated. The efforts of the teams had saved the solar system and potentially the entire universe from a catastrophic event. Alex, Maya, and Jake were hailed as heroes, but they knew that their work was not done. There were still mysteries to be solved, and they were determined to continue their quest to protect the universe from any future alien threats. The journey had been long and difficult, but they had emerged victorious, ready to face whatever new challenges the cosmos might throw their way. Chapter 10: The Aftermath and New Horizons. The return of the Solar Alliance to Earth was met with jubilant celebrations across the globe. The successful halt of the energy convergence in the center of the solar system had been a monumental achievement, a collective victory for humanity and the global consortium. However, for Alex, Maya, and Jake, the celebrations were tinged with a sense of responsibility and the knowledge that there was still much work to be done. Back on Earth, the data retrieved from the hidden underground complex near the site of the energy convergence was the focus of intense research. Scientists from every corner of the world flocked to the research facilities, eager to study the alien technology and the information stored in the data storage devices. The alien conspiracy that had been unearthed was far-reaching, and understanding its full extent was crucial to prevent any future threats. Alex, at the forefront of the research efforts, spent his days poring over the alien data. The information was in a complex, encrypted form, but with the combined efforts of the world's top code breakers, they were slowly making progress. This data holds the key to understanding the aliens' long-term plans, Alex told a group of researchers. We need to be thorough in our analysis. Every piece of information, no matter how small, could be vital. Maya, meanwhile, was leading the study of the alien technology retrieved from the complex. The technology was far more advanced than anything humanity had ever encountered, with components that seemed to defy the known laws of physics. We're looking at a whole new level of engineering here, Maya exclaimed as she examined a strange, crystalline device. If we can reverse engineer this, it could revolutionize our own technology. Jake, on the other hand, was focused on the security aspect. He worked with military strategists to develop a comprehensive plan to safeguard the solar system from any potential remaining alien threats. We can't assume that the threat is completely eliminated, Jake said during a security briefing. There could be other hidden outposts or sleeper agents. We need to stay vigilant. As the days turned into weeks, the research on the alien data and technology continued at a feverish pace. The code breakers managed to decrypt a significant portion of the data, revealing some disturbing details about the alien conspiracy. The aliens, it seemed, were part of a powerful intergalactic organization that aimed to create a perfect universe by eliminating what they considered to be inferior life forms. The experiments in the solar system were a test run, a way to develop the technology needed for their grand plan. "This is a wake-up call," Alex said during a global conference. "We need to not only protect our solar system but also reach out to other potential civilizations. We can't let this organization continue their genocidal plans." The global community, united in the face of this new knowledge, decided to take proactive steps. A plan was formulated to build a network of deep space observatories and communication beacons. These observatories would be equipped with the most advanced sensors, capable of detecting any signs of alien activity in the vast expanse of space. The communication beacons, on the other hand, would be used to send out messages of peace and cooperation to any potential extraterrestrial civilizations. At the same time, the research on the alien technology led to some remarkable breakthroughs. Scientists managed to reverse engineer a small part of the energy shielding technology, which could be used to develop more advanced shields for spaceships and even for protecting Earth's critical infrastructure. The study of the alien propulsion systems also provided new insights, leading to the development of more efficient and powerful engines for future space exploration. One of the most significant discoveries was related to the aliens' understanding of quantum entanglement. The data revealed a new way of using quantum entanglement for faster-than-light communication. This discovery could revolutionize interstellar communication, allowing humanity to reach out to other civilizations across vast distances in a more efficient manner. As the research and development efforts continued, Alex, Maya, and Jake were also involved in a new project. They were tasked with training a new generation of scientists, engineers, and space-faring personnel. The experiences from the previous missions had shown the importance of having a skilled and knowledgeable workforce to deal with future alien encounters. Alex, in his role as a trainer, shared his experiences and knowledge with the young trainees. "The universe is a vast and mysterious place," Alex said during a lecture. "We've only scratched the surface of what's out there. You, the next generation, will be the ones to continue our quest for knowledge and protection of the universe." Maya, too, was actively involved in the training, focusing on the scientific aspects. "Understanding alien technology is not just about reverse engineering," Maya told the trainees. "It's about expanding our own knowledge base and thinking outside the box. The aliens have a different perspective on the universe, and we can learn a great deal from them, even as we protect ourselves." Jake, in his training sessions, emphasized the importance of combat skills and strategic thinking. "When dealing with potential alien threats, we need to be prepared for anything," Jake said. "You need to be able to think on your feet and make split-second decisions in high-pressure situations." As the new generation of space-faring individuals was being trained, the first of the deep space observatories was launched into orbit. The observatory, named Cosmic Sentinel, was a massive structure equipped with state-of-the-art sensors. It was placed in a high orbit around the Sun, allowing it to scan large areas of space for any signs of alien activity. The communication beacons were also deployed across the solar system. These beacons, made of a special, durable material, were designed to send out a continuous stream of messages in multiple frequencies. The messages contained basic information about humanity, Earth, and a plea for peaceful cooperation. One day, while monitoring the data from Cosmic Sentinel, a young scientist named Dr. Lily Chen noticed something unusual. The sensors had detected a faint energy signature in a region of space far beyond the solar system. The energy signature was unlike anything they had encountered before, but it showed signs of being artificial. "Dr. Thompson, I think we might have something," Lily said, her voice filled with excitement as she contacted Alex. "The energy signature is too regular to be natural. It could be a sign of an alien civilization or perhaps even the same organization that was behind the experiments in our solar system." Alex immediately rushed to the monitoring station. After analyzing the data, he agreed with Lily. "This is a significant discovery," Alex said. "We need to study this further. We can't jump to conclusions, but this could be a new lead." The decision was made to send a small, exploratory mission to investigate the energy signature. The mission, named Stellar Quest, was led by a team of experienced scientists and astronauts, including some of the trainees who had shown exceptional promise. The spaceship, Astronova, set off on its journey towards the detected energy signature. The journey was long, taking several months. During this time, the team on board trained rigorously, preparing for whatever they might encounter. As they approached the location of the energy signature, the sensors on Astronova detected a large, spherical object. The object was not a planet or a star but seemed to be a massive, artificial structure. "This could be an alien space station," one of the scientists, Dr. Rajesh Kumar, said. "But we need to be extremely careful. We have no idea what kind of reception we'll get." The Astronova slowly approached the structure. As they got closer, they could see that the surface of the sphere was covered in strange, geometric patterns. The patterns seemed to be some form of communication or perhaps a warning. The team decided to send out a communication signal, using the knowledge they had gained from the study of the alien language. They transmitted a message indicating their peaceful intentions and their desire to communicate. After a tense moment, the sphere responded. A series of strange, pulsating lights appeared on its surface, and a message was transmitted back to the Astronova. The translation software, based on the previous alien language studies, started to work on deciphering the message. The message says, "We have been observing you. Your efforts to protect your solar system are noted. We are a peaceful civilization, and we seek to establish communication." Maya, who had joined the mission remotely, translated. The team on Astronova was elated. This could be the start of a new era of intergalactic cooperation. But they knew that they needed to proceed with caution. "Let's respond and express our interest in communication," Alex said. "But we also need to keep our guard up." The team sent back a message, expressing their eagerness to communicate and learn more about the alien civilization. As they waited for a response, they continued to study the spherical structure. The sensors detected that the structure was powered by a form of energy similar to the one they had encountered in the alien laboratories, but with some unique characteristics. The response from the alien civilization came quickly. The message invited the Astronova team to dock at a designated port on the spherical structure. The team discussed the offer, weighing the risks and benefits. "We can't pass up this opportunity," Dr. Kumar said. "This could be a chance to learn more about the universe and perhaps even find allies against the intergalactic organization." Alex nodded. "But we need to be prepared for anything. We'll send a small team to the structure, equipped with the latest communication and defense devices." A small shuttlecraft was prepared, and a team of scientists, soldiers, and diplomats boarded it. As the shuttlecraft approached the designated port, they could see a large, open bay. The bay was filled with a strange, blue-white light, and the walls were lined with what seemed to be advanced monitoring and docking equipment. The shuttlecraft landed safely, and the team disembarked. They were greeted by a group of aliens. The aliens were bipedal, with a smooth, iridescent skin that seemed to change colors in the light. They had large, almond-shaped eyes and four-fingered hands. One of the aliens, who seemed to be the leader, stepped forward and made a strange, undulating gesture. The translation software recognized this as a sign of greeting. "Welcome, visitors from Earth," the translation software spoke. "We have been watching your progress. Your actions in dealing with the rogue organization have impressed us." Alex, representing the team, stepped forward and made a similar gesture of greeting. "Thank you for the welcome. We are eager to learn more about you and your civilization." The alien leader nodded. "We have much to share. The rogue organization you encountered is a threat to many civilizations. We have been fighting against them in our own ways. Perhaps, together, we can finally put an end to their evil plans." The team from Earth knew that this encounter could change the course of humanity's future in the universe. It was a new horizon, filled with both opportunities and challenges. As they began their communication with the alien civilization, they were filled with a sense of excitement and anticipation. The universe was a vast place, and they were now on the verge of forging new alliances and uncovering more of its secrets. Alex, Maya, and Jake, back on Earth, watched the developments with pride and a sense of hope. The work they had started, the battles they had fought, were now leading to new possibilities. The future of humanity in the cosmos was looking brighter, but they knew that there were still many obstacles to overcome. With the new alliance and the knowledge they had gained, they were ready to face whatever the universe had in store for them. Chapter 11, alliance building and hidden dangers. The initial meeting with the alien civilization aboard their spherical space station marked the beginning of a new chapter in humanity's cosmic journey. The team from Earth, led by Alex, was filled with a mix of excitement and caution as they delved deeper into communication with their newfound allies. The alien leader, who introduced itself as Zara, led the Earth team through the vast corridors of the space station. The station was a marvel of engineering, with walls that seemed to shift and change colors, and strange, floating objects that served various functions, from lighting to navigation. Our civilization has been aware of the rogue organization for centuries, Zara explained as they walked. They have been causing chaos and destruction across the galaxy, preying on weaker civilizations and conducting unethical experiments. Alex listened intently, asking questions about the organization's structure and methods. Do you know where their main bases are located? And what kind of technology do they possess that makes them so dangerous? Zara's large, almond-shaped eyes seemed to glow as it replied. We have some intelligence about their main strongholds, but they are well hidden. Their technology is a combination of advanced genetic engineering, energy manipulation, and space-time distortion. They have mastered the art of creating weapons that can destroy entire planets. The team from Earth was stunned by the revelation. Maya, who was carefully observing the alien technology around her, interjected, "We've seen some of their genetic and energy-related experiments in our solar system. But space-time distortion? That's something we've only theorized about." Zara nodded. They use space-time distortion to create wormholes for rapid travel and to trap their enemies. It's a highly dangerous technology that can have unforeseen consequences if misused. As they continued their tour, the Earth team was introduced to various alien scientists and technicians. They were shown advanced research facilities where the aliens were working on counter-measures against the rogue organization. One of the most fascinating projects was a device that could detect the energy signatures associated with the rogue organization's space-time distortion technology. Dr. Rajesh Kumar, one of the Earth scientists, was particularly interested in this device. If we can adapt this technology, it could give us a significant advantage in detecting their movements in our solar system. Zara agreed. We are willing to share our knowledge and technology with you. In return, we hope that you can contribute your unique perspective and the technology you've reverse-engineered from the rogue organization's laboratories in your solar system. Back on Earth, Maya, Jake, and the rest of the global consortium were closely monitoring the developments. The news of the potential alliance and the shared technology was met with both excitement and concern. Jake, in a meeting with the military leaders, said, "This alliance could be a game changer, but we can't let our guard down. We need to make sure that this isn't some elaborate ruse by the rogue organization." Maya, who was in charge of coordinating the scientific aspects, added, "We also need to ensure that we can integrate the alien technology with our own without causing any unforeseen problems. There could be compatibility issues, and we need to be prepared for that. The global consortium decided to send more teams to the alien space station to further the exchange of knowledge and technology. At the same time, they increased the security measures around the solar system, just in case. As the exchange of technology and information continued, the Earth team on the space station made some interesting discoveries. They found that the rogue organization had been using a network of hidden relays across the galaxy to communicate and coordinate their activities. These relays were designed to be undetectable to most conventional sensors. Zara showed the Earth team a device that could detect these hidden relays. With this device, we can start to map their communication network. It could lead us to their main bases and help us plan our next move. Alex and his team were excited about the prospects. This is a huge step forward. But we need to be careful. If they realize that we're onto their communication network, they might change their strategies. The team from Earth started to work with their alien counterparts to adapt the relay detection device for use in the solar system. Meanwhile, they also shared their knowledge of the rogue organization's genetic experiments. The alien scientists were particularly interested in the genetic samples and data that the Earth team had collected from the laboratories in the solar system. One of the alien scientists, named Zell, said, "Your understanding of the genetic code is different from ours, yet complementary. Together, we might be able to develop a counter-genetic weapon against the rogue organization." The idea of a counter-genetic weapon was both promising and terrifying. Alex was cautious. "We need to approach this with extreme care. A genetic weapon could have unforeseen consequences if it gets out of control." Zell nodded. "Agreed. But if we can develop a weapon that specifically targets the rogue organization's genetic modifications, it could be a powerful tool in our fight against them." As the days passed, the alliance between Earth and the alien civilization grew stronger. However, not all was well. A small group of radical elements within the rogue organization had caught wind of the alliance. They decided to launch a preemptive strike to disrupt the cooperation between the two civilizations. Back in the solar system, the deep space observatories detected a strange energy signature heading towards the Earth-bound spaceships that were shuttling between the planet and the alien space station. Jake, who was monitoring the situation, immediately issued a warning. "All ships, be on high alert. We have an unknown energy signature approaching. It could be a hostile attack." The spaceships quickly activated their defense systems. As the energy signature got closer, it revealed itself to be a group of small, fast-moving ships. These ships were unlike anything the Earth or the alien civilization had seen before. They were sleek, with a black, matte finish, and they were emitting a powerful energy field that was interfering with the sensors. "These ships are definitely from the rogue organization," Jake said. "But they seem to be a new type. We need to find a way to counter their energy field." The spaceships tried to fire at the approaching vessels, but their weapons seemed to be absorbed by the energy field. Alex, who was on one of the spaceships, quickly analyzed the energy field's properties. "I think I know how to disrupt this field," Alex said. "We can use a combination of the universal energy neutralizing device and a high-frequency electromagnetic pulse. But we need to time it perfectly." The ships prepared the necessary equipment. As the rogue ships got closer, Alex gave the signal. The universal energy neutralizing device was activated first, weakening the energy field. Then, a powerful high-frequency electromagnetic pulse was sent out. The energy field around the rogue ships flickered and then disappeared. The Earth ships took advantage of this and opened fire. The rogue ships, now vulnerable, returned fire, and a fierce space battle ensued. The battle was intense, with both sides suffering damage. However, the Earth ships, with their combined technology and the support of the alien civilization, managed to gain the upper hand. One by one, the rogue ships were disabled or destroyed. Back on the alien space station, Zara and the other aliens were monitoring the battle. This is a clear sign that the rogue organization is desperate. They will stop at nothing to prevent our alliance from growing stronger. Alex, who had returned to the space station after the battle, agreed. "We need to step up our efforts. We can't let them intimidate us. We should accelerate the development of the counter-genetic weapon and the mapping of their communication network." The Alliance decided to redouble their efforts. The scientists worked around the clock to develop the counter-genetic weapon, while the technicians focused on improving the relay detection device. As they were making progress, another discovery was made. A group of Earth and alien scientists, while analyzing the rogue organization's genetic data, found a hidden code. This code seemed to be a key to unlocking a more powerful technology that the rogue organization had been hiding. Alex, Maya, and Zara were called to a special meeting to discuss the discovery. This code could be the key to understanding their ultimate plan, Maya said. But we need to be careful. Deciphering this code could be dangerous, as it might trigger some kind of defense mechanism. Zara nodded. "We have faced similar situations before. We need to approach this with caution. We should first study the code in a controlled environment and try to understand its purpose." The scientists started to study the code, using both Earth and alien computing systems. The code was complex, with layers of encryption. But as they delved deeper, they began to uncover some disturbing details. The code, it seemed, was related to a doomsday device. The rogue organization had been developing a device that could cause a chain reaction in the fabric of space, time, potentially destroying entire galaxies. Alex was shocked. "We can't let them activate this device. We need to find out where it is and stop them at all costs." The Alliance knew that they were in a race against time. They had to decipher the code completely to find the location of the doomsday device and develop a way to neutralize it. At the same time, they had to defend themselves against any further attacks from the rogue organization. The situation was more critical than ever, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. As they continued their research, the Alliance also started to plan a large-scale offensive against the rogue organization. They knew that they couldn't just wait for the rogue organization to strike. They had to take the fight to them. But they also knew that they needed to be well prepared. The upcoming battle would be the most crucial one yet, and they had to ensure that they had all the necessary technology, strategy, and manpower to succeed. The days ahead were filled with uncertainty, but the Alliance was determined. They had come too far to let the rogue organization win. With the knowledge they had gained and the bond they had formed, they were ready to face the hidden dangers and emerge victorious. Chapter 12: The Race to Stop the Doomsday Device. The revelation of the rogue organization's doomsday device sent shockwaves through the alliance between Earth and the alien civilization. Alex, Maya, Zara, and the rest of the combined scientific and military teams knew that they were in a race against time to prevent a galactic-scale catastrophe. The scientists, now working in a frenzy, continued to decrypt the hidden code. The code was not only complex but also seemed to be booby-trapped. Any wrong move could potentially alert the rogue organization to their discovery and trigger the device prematurely. Dr. Rajesh Kumar, leading the Earth-based team of code breakers, was sweating profusely as he studied the code on a large holographic display. This is like nothing we've ever encountered. The encryption is a combination of multiple layers, each more complex than the last. But I think we're making progress. On the alien space station, Zell and a group of alien code experts were working in parallel. We've identified some patterns in the code that seem to be related to the location of the device, Zell reported. But we need to confirm it before we can start planning an extraction mission. As the code breakers worked, the military strategists on both sides were formulating a plan for the upcoming offensive. Jake, coordinating with the alien military leaders, was under intense pressure. We need to be ready to move as soon as we have the location of the doomsday device. But we also need to consider the rogue organization's defenses. They're not going to let us get to the device easily. The alien military leader, a tall, imposing figure named Garth, nodded. Our intelligence indicates that they have fortified their main bases. But we have some technology that can help us penetrate their defenses. We have stealth ships that can cloak themselves from most sensors, and we also have energy disrupting weapons that can disable their shield systems. Back on Earth, Maya was overseeing the final development of the counter-genetic weapon. The weapon was designed to target the unique genetic modifications of the rogue organization's members, rendering them unable to function. The counter-genetic weapon is almost ready for testing, Maya reported. But we need to be careful. We don't want to cause any collateral damage to other life forms. As the days passed, the code breakers finally made a breakthrough. They had deciphered enough of the code to determine the general location of the doomsday device. It was hidden deep within a remote star system, surrounded by a complex network of defenses. Alex, Zara, and Jake gathered for an emergency meeting. "We have the location," Alex said, his face serious. "But getting there and neutralizing the device is going to be extremely difficult. The star system is heavily fortified, and we can expect a fierce resistance." Zara looked at the star system's map on the holographic table. "We need to use all of our resources. Our stealth ships can get us close, but we'll still need a large-scale distraction to draw their defenses away from the doomsday device." Jake nodded. "We can use a combination of our Earth-based and alien-designed weapons to create a diversion. But we also need to have a team ready to move in and disable the device as quickly as possible." The Alliance decided to form a special task force for the mission. The task force would consist of the best soldiers, scientists, and engineers from both civilizations. They would be divided into 3 main groups: the distraction team, the stealth team, and the device neutralization team. The distraction team would be responsible for launching a massive attack on the rogue organization's outer defenses. They would use a combination of energy-based weapons, missiles, and the newly developed counter-genetic weapon. The counter-genetic weapon would be targeted at the rogue organization's ground troops, weakening their resistance. The stealth team, on the other hand, would use the alien-designed stealth ships to sneak past the defenses and get close to the doomsday device. Once they were in position, they would provide cover for the device neutralization team. The device neutralization team, led by Alex and Zell, would be responsible for actually disabling the doomsday device. They would be equipped with the latest technology, including the universal energy neutralizing device and a device that could disrupt the device's internal systems. As the task force prepared for the mission, the Alliance also increased its surveillance of the rogue organization's activities. They noticed that the rogue organization seemed to be aware of their plans. Their ships were on high alert, and they were reinforcing their defenses around the star system. "We need to move quickly," Jake said. "They're expecting us. If we wait any longer, they might activate the doomsday device." The task force was given the green light. The ships took off from both Earth and the alien space station, converging towards the rogue organization's star system. As they approached the star system, the distraction team went into action. They launched a massive barrage of energy-based attacks on the outer defenses. The rogue organization's ships and ground-based defense systems returned fire, creating a spectacular display of energy in space. The counter-genetic weapon was also deployed. The weapon was released in the form of a cloud of nanobots that targeted the genetic signatures of the rogue organization's members. The nanobots entered their bodies and started to disrupt their genetic functions. The rogue organization's troops on the ground started to experience severe physical and mental impairments, weakening their ability to fight. While the distraction team was engaging the enemy, the stealth team made its move. The stealth ships, cloaked from the rogue organization's sensors, slipped past the defenses and made their way towards the location of the doomsday device. Alex, Zell, and the device neutralization team were on one of the stealth ships. As they got closer to the device, they could see the massive structure. The doomsday device was a large, spherical object, surrounded by a network of energy, emitting cables and strange, pulsating crystals. "The device is even more complex than we thought," Zell said, studying the readings on a scanner. "We need to be extremely careful. One wrong move, and it could trigger the device." The stealth ship landed near the doomsday device. The team quickly disembarked and made their way towards the device. As they approached, they were met with a series of robotic sentinels. These sentinels were larger and more powerful than any they had encountered before. The soldiers on the team opened fire, but the sentinels' armor was thick, and their energy shields were strong. Alex, using a high-powered scanner, studied the sentinels' power source. Their power source is located in their chests. "If we can disable it, we can stop them." The team focused their fire on the sentinels' chests. After a fierce battle, they managed to disable the sentinels. They then continued towards the doomsday device. When they reached the device, Alex and Zell started to work on disabling it. The device was protected by a complex security system. They had to use all of their knowledge of the rogue organization's technology to bypass the security measures. As they were working on the device, they received a message from the distraction team. "We're starting to run out of ammunition. The rogue organization is sending more reinforcements. You need to hurry." Alex and Zell worked even faster. They managed to bypass the security system and access the device's control panel. The control panel was filled with strange symbols and controls. Alex, who had studied the rogue organization's technology in great detail, started to input the commands to disable the device. But as he was doing so, the device started to emit a powerful energy field. "The device is going into self-destruct mode," Zell shouted. "We need to find a way to stop it." Alex quickly analyzed the energy field. He realized that the energy field was a last-ditch defense mechanism. If they could disrupt the energy field, they might be able to stop the self-destruct sequence. He quickly retrieved the universal energy neutralizing device and adjusted its settings. When he activated the device, it emitted a powerful pulse of energy that disrupted the energy field around the doomsday device. The self-destruct sequence stopped, and Alex continued to input the commands to disable the device. With a final push, he managed to turn off the doomsday device. The device's energy emissions stopped, and the pulsating crystals around it went dark. The team let out a sigh of relief. They had successfully disabled the doomsday device. But they knew that the battle was not over yet. Back in the main battle area, the distraction team was still engaged in a fierce fight. The rogue organization, realizing that their doomsday device had been disabled, was throwing everything they had at the Alliance forces. The stealth team, now that the doomsday device was disabled, joined the battle. They used their stealth ships' powerful weapons to attack the rogue organization's ships from behind. The combined forces of the Alliance managed to turn the tide of the battle. The rogue organization's ships were destroyed one by one, and their ground troops were either captured or killed. With the doomsday device disabled and the rogue organization's main defenses in the star system destroyed, the Alliance had achieved a major victory. But they knew that there were still remnants of the rogue organization out there. Back on Earth in the alien space station, the news of the successful mission was met with celebrations. But the Alliance also knew that they needed to continue their efforts to completely eliminate the rogue organization. Alex, Maya, Zara, and Jake gathered for a debriefing. "We've achieved a great deal, but we can't rest," Alex said. "There are still parts of the rogue organization that could pose a threat. We need to use this victory as a springboard to further our efforts." Zara nodded. "Agreed. We should also share our knowledge and technology more widely. There might be other civilizations out there that could benefit from our alliance and help us in our fight against the rogue organization." Jake added, "We need to strengthen our defenses and improve our technology. The rogue organization might come back stronger, and we need to be ready for them." The Alliance decided to launch a new initiative. They would send out exploration teams to other star systems to find and contact other civilizations. At the same time, they would continue to research and develop new technologies to counter any future threats from the rogue organization. As the exploration teams prepared to set off, Alex, Maya, Zara, and Jake looked towards the future. The battle to protect the galaxy was far from over, but they were confident that with their alliance and the knowledge they had gained, they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. The universe was a vast and dangerous place, but they were determined to make it a safer place for all civilizations. And so, they embarked on a new phase of their cosmic adventure, filled with hope and a sense of purpose. Epilogue: A New Galactic Order. The victory over the rogue organization's doomsday device marked a significant turning point in the galaxy. The alliance between Earth and the alien civilization, now strengthened by their shared success, took on the monumental task of establishing a new galactic order. Alex, Maya, Zara, and Jake found themselves at the forefront of this new era, their actions and decisions shaping the future of countless civilizations. The exploration teams, dispatched to various star systems, began to make contact with other alien civilizations. Some of these civilizations were small and isolated, having no idea of the larger threats in the galaxy. Others were more advanced, but had been living in fear of the rogue organization. The news of the Alliance's victory spread like wildfire, bringing hope to these civilizations. One of the exploration teams, led by Dr. Lily Chen, made contact with a civilization known as the Lyrans. The Lyrans were a peaceful, highly spiritual race with a deep understanding of the fundamental forces of the universe. They had been aware of the rogue organization's activities but had been too afraid to take action. "Your victory has given us the courage to step forward," said the Lyran leader, a wise, looking being with long, flowing tendrils instead of hair. We have knowledge of ancient technologies that could be of great use to your alliance. Lily was excited. We would be honored to learn from you. The more we can share, the stronger our defenses against the remaining threats will be. Back on Earth and the alien space station, the exchange of knowledge and technology continued at an unprecedented pace. Scientists from all the civilizations involved worked together to develop new weapons, more efficient energy sources, and advanced communication systems. The counter-genetic weapon, which had been successfully used in the battle against the rogue organization, was further refined. It was now designed to be more targeted, minimizing any potential harm to non-rogue organisms. Maya, who was leading the Earth-based research on the weapon, explained, "We've managed to fine-tune the genetic targeting system. This new version of the weapon can distinguish between the rogue organization's unique genetic markers and those of other life forms with a much higher degree of accuracy." The military forces of the Alliance were also undergoing a transformation. They were training together, sharing combat strategies, and learning to operate each other's technology. Jake, now a respected military advisor to the Alliance, oversaw the training programs. "We need to be a unified force," Jake told a group of Earth and alien soldiers. "The remaining elements of the rogue organization will not go down without a fight. We need to be prepared for any situation, whether it's a direct attack or a covered operation." As the Alliance grew stronger, they began to track down the remaining pockets of the rogue organization. The intelligence network, a combined effort of all the civilizations, was constantly gathering information. They discovered that some members of the rogue organization had fled to a remote star cluster on the outskirts of the galaxy. Alex, Zara, and a joint team of soldiers and scientists set out to investigate. When they reached the star cluster, they found a hidden base. The base was well fortified, with advanced energy shields and a large number of robotic defenses. "This is going to be a tough nut to crack," Alex said, studying the base's layout on a holographic map. Zara nodded. "But we have the technology and the knowledge. We've faced their defenses before, and we can overcome them again." The team launched a coordinated attack. The soldiers used a combination of new generation energy weapons and the refined counter-genetic weapon to breach the base's outer defenses. The scientists, in the meantime, worked on disabling the energy shields. After a fierce battle, they managed to penetrate the base. Inside, they found a group of rogue organization members. These members were in a state of panic, realizing that their last stronghold was being invaded. One of the rogue leaders, a tall, menacing figure with glowing red eyes, stepped forward. "You think you can stop us? Our cause is greater than you can understand. The universe must be purged of the weak." Alex stepped forward. "Your cause is nothing but a path to destruction. You've caused enough pain and suffering. It ends here." The team managed to capture the rogue members, preventing them from carrying out any further malicious plans. With this victory, the threat of the rogue organization was significantly diminished. The Alliance, now more confident than ever, turned its attention to building a more permanent galactic infrastructure. They established a galactic council, consisting of representatives from all the civilizations in the Alliance. The council was tasked with making decisions regarding the protection of the galaxy, the sharing of resources, and the promotion of peaceful coexistence. Alex was elected as one of the human representatives on the council. "This is a great responsibility," Alex said during the council's first meeting. "We need to ensure that the lessons we've learned from the rogue organization's threat are not forgotten. We must work together to create a galaxy where all civilizations can thrive." Zara, representing the alien civilization that had first allied with Earth, added, "Our differences are what make us strong. By sharing our knowledge, our cultures, and our resources, we can build a future that is brighter for everyone." The council set up a series of programs. One of the most important was the Galactic Education Initiative. This initiative aimed to share knowledge and technology across all civilizations, ensuring that no civilization was left behind. Another program was the Galactic Defense Network, which was designed to protect the galaxy from any future threats, whether they were from remnants of the rogue organization or new, unknown dangers. As the years passed, the galaxy began to change. The once feared rogue organization became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the consequences of hubris and the pursuit of power at all costs. The alliance between Earth and the other civilizations had created a new sense of unity. Maya, who had been involved in the development of the Galactic Education Initiative, saw the positive impact of their work. "I've seen civilizations that were on the verge of technological stagnation thrive after being exposed to new ideas and technologies. This is what the Alliance is all about." Jake, now a respected figure in the Galactic Defense Network, was proud of the progress they had made. "Our defenses are stronger than ever. We've created a network that can detect and respond to threats from across the galaxy. The days of one civilization being able to cause chaos on a large scale are over." Alex, looking back on the long journey that had started with the discovery of the alien laboratories in the solar system, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. "We've come so far. From a single planet facing an unknown threat to being part of a galactic community working towards a common goal. This is just the beginning. There are still countless mysteries in the universe waiting to be explored." The galaxy, once a place filled with fear and suspicion, was now a place of hope and cooperation. The Alliance had not only saved the galaxy from the rogue organization but had also laid the foundation for a new era of intergalactic relations. And as the civilizations continued to work together, they looked towards the future with optimism, ready to face whatever new challenges and opportunities the vast universe had in store for them.